Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be having private conference of one consultancy, two goods and services, and two civil works. But before we start, let us all stand for a prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, the fount of all goodness and grace, the cause of wisdom, the source of intelligence, we welcome you, O Lord, to this auspicious gathering of your beloved, who continuously give you thanks for every opportunity to learn something new and become fruitful to the works of your creation. We humbly come to you, not because we are worthy, but because we find ourselves in need of you, who is our strength and our to continue despite the challenges we face in health, prosperity, and our solidarity with one another. We pray that today's gathering, possible by the grace of advancements in technology and social media, become successful in its endeavors so we can offer it back to you as our humble offering to honor you, glorify you, and love you through our deeper connection with everyone. May we find bliss in today's session and become more productive children and co-creators of the earth. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Let us all be seated. Once again, good morning to each and everyone. Welcome members from the technical working group, secretariat, and our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders. So this private conference is scheduled today instead of 9 a.m. due to the scheduled earthquake drill. We have adjusted the time. It is today this time about 10:15 a.m. So to continue, uh, may I ask our head secretary who are the invited observers for today's private conference? Engineer Augusto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and a pleasant morning to all our YouTube live viewers. Our invited observers for today's private conference for the following one consulting services, two goods and services, and three civil works projects. Is our first official observer is the resident auditor from the Commission on Audit, DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office, Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya. Our second official observer is Mr. Eduardo L. Madrid, Chairman, Chamber Real Estate and Buildings Associations La Union Chapter, San Fernando City, La Union. And our third official observer, sir, is Engineer Gladys G. Tiburcio, alternate observer from the National Constructors Association of the Philippines Incorporated, Aritao, Nueva Vizcaya. So these are three official observers for today's procurement activities. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Augusto. All of our invited observers are not present. Do we have any other mode of invitation aside from our letter, Engineer Augusto?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we sent them through my official email for the invitation to observers for contract ID number 24 BI 0076 to 24 BI 0078, 24 CSBI 001, 24 GBI 26, and 24 GBI 27 through my official email, sir, dated March 19, 2024 at 2:55 p.m. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian. Also, since we have no observers, but most of the back members are present, we'll just continue for the scheduled private conference. Again, may I know from the Secretariat, please read the attendance for today and declare if we have a quorum.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair, and a pleasant morning to all for the roll call of attendance for the Bids and Awards Committee members composition for these procurement activities. We have Engineer Valentino B. Sareno,
Present.
BAC Chairman, Chief Planning and Design Section, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe,
Present.
BAC Vice Chairman, Chief Quality Assurance Section, Engineer Reden A. Milyare,
Present.
BAC Regular Member from the Construction Section, Architect Ivy Olivar Salazar, Provisional Member and User for all types of project procurement, Engineer Jermin B. Buenavista, Provisional Member and User from the Planning and Design Section, Engineer Larissa Villanueva Blanza, Provisional Member and User for Goods and Services from the Maintenance Section, and Engineer Florence L. Santiago, Provisional Member and User from the Quality Assurance Section. And for the roll call, sir, of the BAC Secretariat, yours truly, Brian Neil G. Augusto, Head. For the BAC Secretariat members, we have Mr. Remigio A. Santos, BAC Secretariat Member, Miss Ande Erica Fatima P. Cabang, BAC Secretariat Member, Miss Lotgarda D. Reyes, BAC Secretariat Member, and Mr. Jesus Ibutak, BAC Secretariat Member. And for the Bids and Awards Technical Working Group, sir, who are present for today, we have Engineer Myrtle G. Degamo, TWG Member, Engineer Rolly Ian B. Sinpego, TWG Member, Engineer Narcisa M. Santos, TWG Member, and Miss Diane Sheldon B. Balico, TWG Member. And for the prospective bidders, suppliers, sir, who are present for today's activity, may we have acknowledged the presence of Mr. Ryan Sarandi, representative from Infra Machineries, and for the technical personnel, sir, who prepared the plans and DEDs for these particular projects, we have Engineer Jerry E. Tan II from the Planning and Design Section, Maria Angelica de la Cruz from the Planning and Design Section, Engineer Marston Glenn G. Degamo from the Planning and Design Section, and Engineer Peter Paul B. Dumagas Jr. from the Maintenance Section. Sir, majority of the Bids and Awards Committee composition are hereby present for today's activity. Therefore, there is a constitution of a quorum. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian L. Gusto, for the reading of the attendance for today. Since majority of the BAC members are present, as BAC Chair, I now declare that this procurement activity is officially open and in order. To continue, before I will read the agenda for today, I would like first to read the resolution number 15, series of 2021, for the mandatory submission of PhilJEP certificates of platinum registration. This is for the information of our prospective bidders for these projects. Whereas, Section 8.52 of the 2016 revised IRR of Republic Act 9184 mandates all prospective bidders to upload in the Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System or PhilJEPs and maintain current and updated the following Class A eligibility documents under Section 23.1A and 24.1A of the same IRR. Number one, the registration certificate. Number two, mayor's or business permit or its equivalent document. The tax clearance. Number four, Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board, PCAB, license and registration, and audited financial statement. That is resolution number 15, series of 21, given last October 14, 2021. And again, I would like to read the section 22, which is the private conference. 22.2. The private conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain among other things the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the pre-bid conference. Pre-bid conference may be conducted in person or face-to-face through video conferencing, webcasting, or similar technology, or a combination thereof. Procuring entities with video conferencing capabilities that have manufacturers, suppliers, distributors, contractors, and or consultants that also video conferencing capabilities may conduct the pre-bidding conference electronically. The pre-bid conference is open to prospective bidders, and in case of procurement of consulting services, the shortlisted bidder but attendance it shall not be mandatory. The minutes of the private conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the private conference and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the BAC amending any provisions of bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days after the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. That is Section 22, which is the private conference of the 2016 revised implementing rules and regulation of Republic Act 9184. This is for the information of our prospective bidders. So this is the agenda for today. The first agenda is basic contract data to be discussed to us by the preparer of the uh, several goods and services, the consultancy, and the civil works project. The second agenda, requirements of bidding documents by our Head Secretariat, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto. For the third agenda, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. Again, our Head Secretariat, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto. For the fourth agenda, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, our provisional member for all types of procurement, Architect Ivy Salazar. The fifth agenda, questions or comments from bidders and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. This is for BAC and all prospective bidders. And summary of proceedings including bid bulletins addenda to be issued if any. And the last one is other matters. So for the first agenda, for the basic contract data, we'll first tackle the consulting services with contract ID number 24 CSB 01. May I request Engineer Maria Angelica de la Cruz, who will explain to us the for this particular consulting services. Engineer de la Cruz, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Angelica de la Cruz from Planning and Design section. Allow me to present to you the contract ID 24 CSBI01 with a name of project consulting services for the conduct of soil testing exploration of projects under FY 2024 with an approved budget for the contract 2,640,000 pesos. Duration is 105 calendar days. Cost of bid documents 5,000 pesos. Source of fund FY 2024. So here are the location of the contract. For the flood control projects, next slide please. Next slide please. First one is the construction of backyard flood control structure along Lamot River, Barangay Bakir Bagabag, Nueva Vizcaya with number of 1 borehole at 15 meters depth. Next is construction of Santa Lucia flood control structure along Barangay Santa Lucia, Bagabag, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 1 borehole at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of Nalubunan flood control structure along Angadanan River, Nalubunan, Quezon, Nueva Vizcaya, with the number of one borehole. Next one is the construction of Buliwao flood control structure, Angadanan River, Buliwao, Quezon, Nueva Vizcaya, with the number of one borehole at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of Bambang Kupas CIS canal lining and flood control structure at Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya, with a number of one borehole at 15 meters depth. Next one is the construction of Manantam flood control, again with the number of one borehole at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of flood control and drainage structure along Magat River, Nalubunan section, Quezon, Nueva Vizcaya, with number of one borehole at 15 meters depth. Next slide, please. So for the road slip, number one is the Bambang Kasibu Solano Road, K0319 plus minus 973, kilometer 319, 827, kilometer 319, minus 481 at kilometer 319687. Next one is the Bambang Kasibu Solano Road at kilometer 320 plus 029 K0321 plus 250. Next is the Papaya Malabing Wangal Binugawan Tajirun Runo Road at K0312 plus 260, K0312 plus 327, K0314 plus 117 to K0314 plus 193. And for the buildings, number one is the construction of multi-purpose building Barangay Santa Cruz, Bagabag, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 2 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of multi-purpose building Barangay Ipilcuneg, Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 2 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of multi-purpose building Barangay San Antonio South, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 2 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of multi-purpose building Barangay Dacabacan, Jadi, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 2 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of multi-purpose building at Barangay Tuaw North, Bagabag, Nueva Vizcaya with 2 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Next one is the construction of multi-purpose building Nueva Vizcaya State University Bambang Campus, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 3 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of multi-purpose building and other improvements within the Capitol compound beside the Nueva Vizcaya Convention Center in Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 3 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of multi-purpose facility Nueva Vizcaya State University Sports Complex at Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 3 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Next is the construction of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First DEO Office Building Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 3 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Construction of multi-purpose building Balete Jadi, Nueva Vizcaya with 2 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Construction of multi-purpose building Poblacion Villaverde, Nueva Vizcaya with 2 boreholes at 15 meters depth. Construction of multi-purpose building Duli Ambagyo, Nueva Vizcaya with 2 boreholes at 15 meters depth. And the construction of multi-purpose building Solano, Nueva Vizcaya with a number of 3 boreholes at 15 meters depth. So for the bridge project, we have Collocal Bridge B01245LZ along the Maharlika Bypass Road with a number of 2 boreholes at 20 meters depth. Next slide, please. So the scope of consulting services, the consultant shall conduct the following: geological survey and investigation, geotechnical investigation. So at proposed project sites, Deep drilling with standard penetration tests, SPT, and rock coring shall be conducted at locations up to a depth of 15 meters for building, flood control projects, road slip projects, and up to a depth of 20 meters for bridge project into moderate strength soil or as determined by the engineer in charge. Standard penetration tests shall be made at a minimum interval of 1.5 meters and at every change of soil layer. Boring will be terminated when 3 meters of penetration into a stable strata or hard rock is encountered at shallower depth or as determined by the engineer in charge. If necessary, upon instruction of the engineer in charge, drilling may extend beyond 30 meters. Next slide, please. So, for the outputs, first one is the inception report, monthly progress report, partial report on investigation results, and final reports. Next slide, please. So here are the final report shall include but not limited to the following. First is the field geological and geotechnical investigation and methodology, borehole drilling and coring, laboratory testing, vicinity maps, final boring logs, final laboratory test results, borehole location plan in a scale of 1:250, soil profile along structures showing boring, drilling, coring methods, evaluation and recommendation that includes the complete recommended geotechnical parameters relevant to the design and construction of multipurpose building. The recommendation, if called such, as type of proposed countermeasure or structures to address geotechnical problems and foundation instability of the building and structure. Next is the rock mass rating. Next slide, please. So other data to be submitted is the boring logs. Next slide, please. Photographs. And that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer De La Cruz, for the brief explanation of the term of reference for these consulting services. So, from the Secretary, does anyone from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders, have question or clarification regarding the first contract with contract ID number 24 CSB 01? None? About let's go for fellow back members. Let's start from the planning and design section, provisional member, Engineer Jermaine Buenavista. Do you have any amendment for these consulting services?
No amendment, Mr. Chair.
Our provisional member for consultancy, Engineer Risa Tuliao.
No amendment, sir.
Noted. Our provisional member for all types of procurement, Architect Ivy Salazar.
I have no amendment, sir.
Noted.
No amendment, sir.
Engineer. Okay, noted. Our back vice chair, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe.
No amendments, Mr. Chair.
Since majority of the back members have no amendment for these consulting services, then we'll adopt the basic contract data as advertised. Take note, Engineer Brian Nilabs. So let's proceed for the next for goods and services. For the first contract with contract ID number 24 GBI 26. May request Engineer Peter Paul Dobagas will discuss to us the first contract for first goods and services. Engineer Dobagas, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, everyone. I'm Paul Domagas po, SO Engineer, and I'll be discussing po the goods with the contract ID 24 GBI 26. And the name of project is procurement of 1 unit brand new hydraulic breaker, HB15 type with quick coupler for use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. The location of the contract is at DPWH Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya. with an approved budget for the contract or ABC of 1,500,000 pesos. The duration is 30 calendar days upon issuance of NTP with bid documents costing to 5,000 pesos. The source of fund is the DPWH fiscal year 2024 capital outlay. And the specifics for this type of equipment po are as follows. Hindi naman actually siya mahaba. Yung breaker po dapat ay should have at least 100 diameter, yung pencil niya, pencil breaker or mall point ba yung tawag doon. And it should have operating pressure of 150 to 170 bar. Plus, it should be a coupler type po sana sa ating mga interested bidders. Para po yung pag-install at saka pagtanggal nitong breaker ay madali. Para po kahit nung operator lang ang maglagay ay kayang-kaya niya. Hindi na siya yung manual na dipukpok or may mga tatanggalin pa pong mga bolts. So, it should be a coupler type. Yun lang po, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Domagas, for the brief explanation for the first goods and services with contract ID number 24 GBI 26. Again, may I ask the Secretariat, does anyone from our YouTube live viewers have questions or clarification for the first goods and services? None. How about our one representative from Infra Machineries? Do you have any question or clarification for the first goods and services in the name of Engineer Mr. Ryan Sarandi? None. So from do you have any amendment from provisional member from the Planning and Design section, Engineer Jermin Buenavista?
No amendments.
Or provisional member for all types of procurement, Architect IB Salazar?
I have no amendment, sir.
Noted. Or back regular member, Engineer Reden A. Milyare?
No amendments, sir.
Noted. Or back vice chair, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe?
No amendments, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Since majority of the back members have no amendment for this good and services, so please take note, Secretariat, that we will adopt the basic contract data as advertised.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
For the second goods and services with contract ID number 24 GBI 27, to present it to us the provisional member for goods and services, Engineer Larissa Blanza. Engineer Blanza, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning again, everybody. For the contract ID number 24 GBI 27, the name of the project is procurement of 112 pieces corrugated RSB 16 mm grade 40, etc. for use in the maintenance of national roads and bridges. The location for the contract is at DPWH Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya. And the approved budget for the contract is 4,999,893 pesos and 80 centavos. The duration is 30 calendar days upon the issuance of NTP. The cost of bidding documents is 5,000 pesos and the source of fund is from the DPWH FY 2024 capital outlay. So for this contract, for this goods and services goods contract po, ang nilalaman po niya is 310 bags of blown asphalt, 26 pieces of single-arm 8-meter pole solar LED roadway lighting, 120 watts, 1.5 meters mast arm length with 250 km/h wind speed. Yun po yung kayang i-withstand nung mast arm po niya, 250 kilometers na wind speed. Yung other specifications po niya, for the solar panel, it should be 36 volts, 120 watts, monocrystalline silicon solar panel with a battery of lithium ion grade A 35 Ah/24V battery model of 32,650 at 2,900 cycles. The LED chips is industrial grade high lumen chips. The charge controller should be microcomputer intelligent control for circuit protection. The power output is 120 watts. Luminous flux is 21,600 lumens. Charging time is 6 to 7 hours. Lighting time is 10 to 12 hours per day and can sustain up to 8 to 12 days of rainy days. Yung mounting height po ng ating pole should be 8 meters in height with 1.5 meter single mast arm na may specification na round steel tapered post po siya with a bottom diameter of 200 mm and top diameter of 100 mm. At ang thickness po ng ating pole is 4 millimeters. Meron din po dapat siyang base plate na may size na 20 mm by 400 mm by 400 mm and a stiffener plate of 16 mm by 200 mm by 100 mm by 20 mm. Hot dip galvanized. And an anchor bolt po na 19 mm by 508 mm na OAL bend po, 50 mm triple nuts and double flat washers. Aside from yung atin pong solar lights, ang kasama po rin po niya is yung corrugated RSB na 16 mm, 112 pieces po, grade 40, by 6 meters po ito. 125 pieces din po ng corrugated RSB 10 mm, grade 40 by 6 meters. 26 pieces din po ng 1/2 inch marine plywood. And lastly po, 169 bags ng Portland cement na 40 kilograms. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Blanza, for the explanation for this second goods and services with contract ID number 24GBI27. Again, may I ask from the Secretariat, does anyone have questions or clarification from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders? Being none. So let's fellow back members, do you have any amendment for this contract? Let's start from Engineer Jermin Benavista from the Planning and Design section.
No amendment, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Architect IB Salazar, or
I have no amendment, sir.
noted. Engineer Reden A. Milyare,
No amendments, Mr. Chair.
Back Vice Chair Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe.
No amendments, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Since majority of the back members have no amendment for this second goods and services, then take note, Secretary will adopt the basic contract data as advertised.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
Let's continue for that's for the two goods and services. Let's for the civil works for the first contract with contract ID number 24BI0076. Request the preparer engineer Jerry Tan who will discuss to us the scope of work and details of this particular project. Engineer Jerry Tan, take it away.
Good morning to everyone. I am Jerry Tan II from Planning and Design section. I am here to discuss our proposed rainwater collector system 2024 entitled Convergence and Special Support Program Construction, Rehabilitation of Water Supply, Septage and Sewerage Rainwater Collector System located at Bambang, Bayombong, Quezon, Villaverde, Nueva Vizcaya. The indicative approved budget for the contract with an amount of 2,895,000 pesos. The description for this project, installation of 10 units rainwater collector system with accessories to include pedestal, gutter, pipes and fittings, concrete floor slab, and concrete masonry backsplash. With a total calendar days of 165. The cost of bidding documents, 5,000 pesos. And the source of fund is for year 2024, RA 11975, regular 2024 current. Like this. Next slide. The rainwater collector system 2024 shall be installed within 10 public schools. We have Nagbitin Elementary School, Villaverde, Governor Juan Manzano Elementary School, Villaverde, Almaguer South Elementary School, Bambang, Darugba Elementary School, Quezon, Masok Elementary School, Bayombong, Bintawan Norte Elementary School, Villaverde, Manamtam Elementary School, Bambang, Kasat Elementary School, Bayombong, Ocapon Elementary School, Villaverde, and Sawmill Elementary School, Villaverde. First, we have the Nagbitin Elementary School with the geotag photo coordinates of 16.04865 degrees north and 121.156968 degrees east. Next slide, please. As we can see on this screen is the roof plan of the building, wherein the rainwater collector system be installed. Next. The red line serves as the water catcher, which is located at the rear side of the building. And the red arrow directs to the water inlet of the storage tank, which is located also at the rear side of the building. Next. The scope of work for this school is removal of existing downspout, installation of wire mesh and with gutter, installation of pipelining, construction of one unit rainwater collector system. Next. Source of aggregates is Majangat Quarry, and the source of material is Solano Market. Next. Next is the Governor 1 Manzano Elementary School with the geotag photo coordinates of 16.604765 degrees north and 121.156956 degrees east. Next. This is the floor plan of our proposed rainwater collector. Next. The location of the rainwater collector will be at the left side of the building. Next. The scope of work for this is the removal of the old fascia board, installation of steel fascia board, installation of flashing, installation of gutter with wire mesh, installation of pipelining, construction of one unit rainwater collector. Source of aggregates for this project is Majangat Quarry, and our source of material is Solano Market. Next. For Almaguer South Elementary School, next. This is the roof plan of our building. Next. Next. The location of our rainwater collector, next, would be at the left side of the building, and the pipelining of the rainwater collector would be at the front and the rear of the building. Next. The scope of work for this is the installation of gutter with wire mesh, installation of pipelining, and construction of one unit rainwater collector. Next. The source of aggregate is at Kupas Quarry, and the source of material is at Bambang Market. Next. Next is from Darugba Elementary School, Quezon. Next. This is the roof plan of our proposed rainwater collector. Next. Next. The location of our rainwater collector would be at the rear side of the building, and it directs to our proposed rainwater collector which is located at the left side of the building. Next. The scope of work for this school is the installation of gutter with wire mesh, installation of pipelining, and construction of one unit rainwater collector. Our source of aggregate for this school is Majangat Quarry, and source of material is Solano Market. Next. For Masok Elementary School, Bayombong, this is the roof plan of our rainwater collector system. Next. Our rainwater collector would be at the front of the building, and our tank would be located at the left side of our building. Next. The scope of work for this building is the removal of old fascia board, installation of steel fascia board, installation of gutter with wire mesh, installation of pipelining, and construction of one unit rainwater collector. The source of aggregate is Vista Alegre Quarry, and the source of material is Bayombong Market. Next is we have Bintawan Norte Elementary School. Next. This is the roof plan of our proposed rainwater collector system. The red line would be our rainwater collector, which is located at the rear side of our building. Next. The scope of work for this school is the removal of existing downspout, installation of wire mesh in gutter, installation of pipelining, construction of one unit rainwater collector. Our source of aggregates for this school is at Majangat Quarry, and source of material is Solano Market. Next is Manamtam Elementary School. Next. This is the floor plan or roof plan of our building. And our rainwater collector will be located at the rear side of our building. Next. The scope of work for this building is the installation of gutter with wire mesh, installation of pipe linings, construction of 1-unit rainwater collector. Our source of aggregate for this school is at Kupas Quarry, and our source of material is at Bambang Market. Next is we have Kasat Elementary School, Bayombong. Next. This is the roof plan of our building, and our rainwater collector would be located at the front and rear of the roof, and then our tank would be located at the right side of our building. Next. The scope of work for this project is installation of gutter with wire mesh, installation of pipelining, and construction of 1-unit rainwater collector. Source of aggregate is at Vista Alegre Quarry, and source of material is at Bayombong Market. Next is Ocapon Elementary School, Villaverde. This is the roof plan of would be located of our rainwater collector. The red line would be the catcher of our rainwater, would be located at the front and rear of the building, and our tank would be located at the right side of the building. The scope of work is the installation of gutter with wire mesh, installation of pipelining, and construction of 1-unit rainwater collector. Our source of aggregate for this school is Vista Alegre Quarry, and our source of material is at Solano Market. Next. For Sawmill Elementary School, Villaverde, this is the roof plan of our building. Next. This is the rainwater collector, the red line, which is located at the front of our school, and the tank would be located at the right side of the building. Our scope of work for this school is installation of gutter with wire mesh, installation of pipelining, and construction of 1-unit rainwater collector. Our source of aggregate is at Vista Alegre Quarry, and our source of material is Solano Market. That's all po. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Jerry Tan, for the explanation of the 10 sites of the rainwater collector system located at various municipality. So again, may I ask our Secretariat, does anyone from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders, have questions or clarification regarding this particular project? None? So, fellow back members, let's start from the Engineer Jermin Buenavista from the Planning and Design section.
Mr. Chair, for the information lang, kasama ba yung yung parang faucet niya doon tsaka yung wall, sabi niya CHB wall? Kasama naman sa estimate program.
Yes, sir. In the general project description for this project it includes pedestal, gutter, pipes and fittings, concrete floor slab, and concrete masonry backsplash po. Bale, included po siya sa program of work.
Typical section.
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Back Vice Chair, you're recognized.
I am looking for the typical section of the water reservoir. Meron ba kayo? Paki-present mo for the information of our prospective bidders.
Picture lang.
Baka nakagitna na naman yung inlet pipe nyo eh. Please show to the video screen the typical section of our rainwater collector, the storage tank. Naka-importante. Hindi naman yung location ang mga importante na masyado. Yung typical section nung
Yan, picture niya tayo.
nung storage tank. Yan. Where is the location of the inlet?
Sir,
Did you use GI pipes or PPR pipes for the pipeline system?
PVC pipe, sir.
PVC?
For the inlet. Yes, sir. From the rain catcher and then from yung imbudo niya,
Yun
sir.
yung drainage pipe na kulay
sir.
orange?
Yes, sir.
What is the thickness of that PVC pipe orange?
75. Yan, 70.
The diameter. Kasi dalawang thickness yan eh. Merong manipis at saka mayroong makapal.
Sir, the diameter is 75 diameter, but yes, sir. Schedule 40, sir.
Hindi.
Yung thickness niya po.
Merong number 750 at saka number 1000 yan eh.
Yung series niya, series.
Yung series.
Series.
Series 1000, mas makapal yon. Mas mahal. That is the inlet. How about yung distribution line?
PPR?
Hindi ko kasi.
GI pipe or PPR?
Doon sa mga sa mga isplash po.
Sir, GI po. GI
GI
pipes.
is not recommended kasi kinakalawang yan. Dapat ang ginagamit na natin is mga PPR pipes.
Okay, take note, Engineer Jerry Tan, for this one.
Mas secure pa yun. Pag, di ba merong heater doon, mas maganda ang kwan doon. Leak-proof siya.
Noted on that, sir.
So wala kayong typical section para makita ng ating mga prospective bidders? Where is the inlet? What part of the water reservoir yung mga inlet nyo? Inlet pipe?
Sir, it depends on the elevation of our drain, the roof drain po.
As much as possible, nasa taas sana yung inlet. Huwag
Yes.
na naman yung lalagay mo sa gitna.
Ano naman, sir, in general, sir, wala naman po sa gitna, more on nasa between gitna to top, sir. Naglalaro po doon, varies po.
So i-adjust nyo sana yung kwan, yung pedestal. Para
Yes,
noon,
sir.
paraging nasa ibabaw yung inlet. Anyway, yung head naman ng water, yun yung magkikreate ng pressure.
Yes, sir, we try to adjust, sir, yung pinaka pwede pong maximum na maging pinakamataas po na pwede, sir, doon sa ating location.
O kasi mataas naman yung mga building kasi yung roof edge niyan. Usually school buildings, the finished floor line to the roof beam is 3.2, di ba?
Pero may baba, yung mga luma.
O kasi kung i-imagine niyo, hirap na makapasok yung tubig from the gutter, roofing, kung sa gitna mo naman ilalagay yung inlet.
Yes, sir. Hindi naman po sa gitna, sir.
Yes, Engineer Jerry Tan, kindly verify the elevations of the for that inlet. Kasi yung old mababa, yung mga two-story okay yun, yung mga, saka yung mga bago. Pero yung mga luma, yung talagang mag-a-adjust ka.
Yes, sir.
Yung
Noted
going
po.
to inlet. Okay, be. Paki-verify na lang sa as per yung na-prepare na plano.
Noted, sir. Thank you.
Okay, any other from Architect Ivy Salazar? Or provisional member for all types of procurement?
I have no questions, sir.
Noted. Or regular member, Engineer Reden Milyare?
No amendments and questions, sir.
Or Backbasher, do you have any other concern?
No more concern and no amendments on the Philippine bidding document posted in the DPWH website and PhilJEPS, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Since majority of the back members have no amendment for this particular project, take note again, Secretariat, that will adopt the basic contract data as advertised.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
For the second civil works with contract ID number 24BI0077, I request Engineer Marston Glenn Degamo, the preparer of this particular project, to discuss in detail the scope of work of this particular project. Engineer Degamo, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am Marston Glenn Digamo from Planning and Design section. I'm here to discuss to you about the contract ID 24BI007, name of project, organizational outcome 2, protect lives and properties against major floods, flood management program, construction slash rehabilitation of flood mitigation facilities within major river basins and principal rivers, construction of San Fernando 2, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya. The location of the project is Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya. Approved budget for the contract is 49 million pesos only. Description of the project is construction of 300 linear meter slope protection, steel sheet pile with embankment. Duration of the project is 227 calendar days. Cost of bid is 25,000 pesos only, and the source of fund is for year 2024 regular. This is the even first. This is this is this this is an exact satellite view of the proposed project, which is located at Bambang. It is almost 3 kilometers away from the municipality of Bambang. Next slide, please. This is a closer satellite view of the project. The arrow shows the arrow shows the distance it was from the not the tertiary road, the flow of the San Fernando River, and the location of the project is near the San Fernando Bridge, which is separated by two sections. The first section has 210 linear meter, and the second section has 90 linear meter. Next. This is the layout plan of the project. The the uh, the upper side, which is at the section 1, has exactly 210 linear meter of slope protection, and the lower side has 90 linear meter. It also shows the location of the proposed shear wall, which is exactly 50 meters 50 meters away, and it has also an anchorage for each sections, which has 12 meters at section 1 and 10 meters at section 2. Next page, please. This is a topographic plan of the project showing us the contours of the project, the physical location of the project, and it also shows the existing RCPC from section 1, which has 2, and from section 2, it has also 2 RCPC which has a size of 910 mm or 36 inches, and one RCPC which is 24 inches or 610 mm. Next slide, please. This is a typical section of the concrete slope protection, which has...
Excuse me, Marston.
Sir?
Marston. Pakibalik mo doon sa previous. Please show to the video screen the ongoing San Fernando flood control. Saan ba nakalagay yan?
Ay. Can you please, yung pinakauna po, dun sa ako na lang, sa may...
Yeah, that is for the information of our prospective bidders.
That's po. Yung, I'm sorry to say, but I didn't show a line from the ongoing San Fernando flood control. The location of the ongoing San Fernando flood control is near the sign going to Bambang at the downstream of the bridge, at the alignment of the abutment A, sir.
So the proposed project is located on the opposite side.
Yes, sir, opposite side, which is alignment B, sir. Abutment 2. Yes, sir, abutment B, which is at the upper side, sir.
Right. Okay, that is for the information of our prospective bidders.
Yes, sir. Next slide. Yung... like I would like to continue. The total height of the slope protection is 5 meters and total embankment of 5.5 with a walkway or top of the slope protection of 1.5 width. And the steel sheet pile that will be used is Z type, 9 meters length. Next slide, please. This is a detailed section for the slope protection, which has a thickness of 0.30 and a reinforcement bar of 12 mm diameter, spaced at 400 in both ways, and a top width with a total length of 1.5, which is separated by a concrete parapet with a thickness of 0.25 and a height of 50. Next slide, please. For the information of the bidders, this is the detail of a one segment slope protection which has a length of 50 meters, showing us the location of the whip holes, which is exactly 0.30 above of the grid line of the proposed pile cap. The spacing of the whip holes is 2 meters staggered, sir. Next slide, please. This is a close detail of the pile cap of the closed pile cap, which has a main bar of 16 mm longitudinal bars and a stirrup of 12 mm space at 200 mm, and we also provide three extra bars which is labeled bar 2 16 mm and bar 3 16 mm also, which is space 400 mm, or put it alternately. Next slide, please. We also make a design for its shear walls, which has a base foundation of 1.5 and a thickness of 0.30. It is located in every 50 meters of the slope concrete protection, and we also designed a rubble concrete which would hold the embankment of the proposed project. Yes, sir. And every section will be provided with rubble concrete to contain its embankment, sir. Next slide, please. For the overview of our viewers and our prospective bidders, this is an isometric view of the shear wall and the rubble concrete that would be proposed in San Fernando Section 2. The details can be seen and also it will visualize at what will be the project. That's all, sir.
Marston, what is the angle of the rubble concrete anchorage from the beginning and the end?
The proposed angle of the rubble concrete, which is located at the back of the retaining wall, would be 60, sir. Yes, sir.
For the upstream and downstream.
Yes, sir. But as long as it will not contain the water, sir, or it will be against the flow of the water, sir.
That's all.
Thank you, Engineer Marston Glenn Degamo, for the brief explanation for this particular project with contract ID number 24BI0077. Again, from the Secretariat, does anyone from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders, have questions or clarification regarding this particular project? Tingnan. So, fellow back members, let's start from Architect Ivy Salazar. Do you have any amendment for this particular project?
Sir, for the information of the viewers, pakiano nga yung sa may whip holes. Wala kasing nakalagay na description doon sa yung nag-triangle na doon sa may whip holes. Ano yun, sir?
Backing, gravel backing.
We only did the triangle. The image shows us exactly at the triangle edge yung ground, yung filter niya po, ma'am. Kasi may nilalagay po tayong granular filter. Parang nirepresent na lang po namin siya as triangle para mas kwan po siya. Kwan po yun. Bali, yung kwan po, sir, yung mga bato is yung granular niya po. Tapos yung pipe, this will be secured by a filter cloth.
Thank you, Engineer Digamo.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nung pig gravel, nun sa may likod ng whip holes,
The size of the gravel at the back of the whip holes is, I think, 1.5 inch, sir. Mas mas granular siya kaysa sa ano, sir. 1 inch to 1.5, sir. Mas granular po siya kaysa dun sa magiging magiging backfill natin.
Thank you. Do we have any other queries? Fellow back members?
No further questions.
Noted. Our regular back member, Engineer Den A. Milyare.
As per the basic contract data, no amendments, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Our back Vice Chair, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe.
no amendments, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Since majority of the back members have no amendment for this particular project, then we'll adopt the basic contract data as advertised. Take note, Engineer Ryan Augusto, our Head Secretariat.
Well noted, Mr. Chair.
For the last civil works project for today is with contract ID number 24BI0078. I request our preparer, Engineer Maria Angelica de la Cruz, discuss in details the scope of work of this particular project. Engineer de la Cruz, take it away.
Good morning once again. Let me present to you the contract ID 24BI0078 with the name of project Construction and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program BIP, Multipurpose Buildings/Facilities to support social services, construction, completion of multipurpose building, Barangay Butao. Location of the project, Jadi, Nueva Vizcaya, with an approved budget for the contract, 3,465,000 pesos. Project description, construction of 15 meters by 25 meters covered court. The duration is 130 calendar days. Cost of bid documents, 5,000 pesos. And the source of fund is FY 2024. Regular. Next slide, please. So here's the perspective view of the proposed project. The location map of the project with the geotag description of 16 degrees 44 minutes 29 seconds north, 121 degrees 21 minutes 58 seconds east. So the proposed project involves construction of a 15 meters by 25 meters covered court encompassing all construction phases, starting with laying of the foundation, floor slabs, erecting columns and beams, and installing of roof framing. The truss materials properties will include a 50 mm diameter Schedule 40 pipe for the top and bottom cords, and 38 mm diameter Schedule 40 pipe for the web members. Finishing works will include plastering and painting of columns and beams. Additionally, the project will incorporate the installation of storm drainage and downspouts for sanitation facilities, along with the completing of electrical installations, including lighting and fixtures. And the aggregate will be sourced from Baret Quarry, which is approximately 31 kilometers from the project site. Shown on the screen is the floor plan and roof plan of the proposed project. Next slide, please. the front and rear elevation, the typical side elevation, and that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Maria Angelica de la Cruz, for the brief explanation for this particular project with contract ID number 24BI0078. Again, may I request from the Secretariat, does anyone from our prospective bidders have questions or clarifications for this third project? None? So, uh, do you have any amendment? Architect IB Salazar, or provisional member for all types of procurement,
I have no amendment, sir.
or back regular member, Engineer Reden A. Milyare.
No amendment, sir.
Noted. Or back Vice Chair, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe.
No amendments, Mr. Chair, but would like to ask the engineer who prepared the DED. Yan ba yung gusto nila na dome type?
Yes, sir. It is requested by the end.
Hindi nyo na-explain na napakahirap gawin yan? Ah? Pilit na. Bueno, pero narigat mo. Okay, kung yun ang gusto ng end user na ganyang dome type, mahirap lang kasing gawin.
Okay. Since majority of the back members have no amendment for this particular project, then we will adopt the basic contract data as advertised. Take note, Secretariat. So, for this one, so that's for the first agenda. For the second agenda, may request our head secretariat to for the requirements of bidding documents. Engineer Augusto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And for the second agenda, for the requirements of the bidding documents for the consulting services with contract ID number 24 CSBI001 for ITB Close 10.1C. The minimum required experience of the post professional staff is as follows. For the list of the staff, we have a project manager, geotechnical engineer, civil engineer / materials engineer, and laboratory technician. Minimum of experience is 3 years. And for the type of experience for the project manager is registered licensed civil engineer or equivalent with extensive experience in geotechnical investigation. For the geotechnical engineer, registered licensed geotechnical engineer. And for the civil engineer, materials engineer, for the types of experience, registered and licensed civil engineer and accredited materials engineer. For the laboratory technician, type of experience, graduate of BS civil engineer or accredited CSE MC11. For ITB close 10.27, minimum equipment requirement for the project. For the description, drilling machine with complete accessories required is 1. Split spoon sampler, hammer double, tube core barrel and water pump required units is 1. For the bid security, for ITB close 15.1, for the bid security shall be in the following amount. 2% of bid security is discussed cashier's manager check, bank draft guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit. Number 2, 5% of ABC if bid is insured demand. D3, bid securing declaration. Number 4, any combination of the foregoing proportionate to the share or form of with respect to the total amount of security. For the goods and services, sir, for our contract ID number 24BI0026 and 24GBI rather 027 sa goods. For ITB clause 14.1, the bid security shall be in the form of the bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. A, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if its bid security is in cash, cashier's manager's check, bank draft guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit. Or B, the amount of not less than 5% if the bid security is in surety bond. For ITB clause 20.2, license and permits relevant to the project and corresponding law requiring it. Number 1, mayor's permit. 2, DTI. 3, PhilJEP's registration. 4, tax clearance. And 5, supplier's registration certificate or SRC. For the terms and conditions, we have number 1, supplier must own service centers and facilities in Luzon. Number 2, supplier must be ISO certified. Number 3, 1-year warranty on equipment. And 4, equipment will be delivered free of charge. And for the bid requirement of bid data sheet for these 3 civil works projects, for contract ID number 24BI0076, for ITB clause 14.2A, 4B, the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel are the following. For the key personnel, we have project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, foreman, and safety officer. Minimum years of similar experience, same position is 3 years, and minimum years of total work experience, same position is 3 years. For ITB clause 14.2A4, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For the description, we have plate compactor, 1 bagger mixer, required units is 1, bar cutter, bar bender, welding machine, cutting outfits, cargo and service truck, required units is 1. For the laboratory equipment, please refer to Department Order number 11, series of 2017. For the minimum materials testing equipment and DO number 127, series of 2018, strict application of Republic Act 9184, the conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts within the DPWH. For contract ID number 24BI0077, for the construction of San Fernando 2, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya. For the key personnel, we have the project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, foreman, and safety officer. Minimum years of similar experience, same position is 5 years. Minimum years of total work experience, same position is 5 years. For ITB clause 14.2A4, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For the description, we have water pump, 1,000 liters, 100 millimeter rather, suction diameter, capacity. Required units is 4. Motorized road grader and vibratory roller. Required units is 1. Water truck pump, 6,000 liters. Required units is 4. Backhoe, 0.8 cubic meter to 1.04 cubic yards. Capacity. Required units is 1. Dump truck. Required units is 2. Cargo service truck, bar cutter and bar bender. Required units 1. 1 bagger mixer. Required units 4. Concrete vibrator is required units is 1. Backhoe, PC 60 to 70, 0.36 cubic meter to 47 cubic yards. Required units is 4. Crawler crane, vibro hammer, welding machine, and payloader and low bed trailer. Required units is 1. For the laboratory equipment, please refer to DO number 11, series of 2017. For the minimum materials testing equipment and DO 127, series of 2018, strict application of Republic Act 9184, the conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts within the DPWH. For the last project, sir, with contract ID number 24BI0078, for the civil works projects. For ITB clause 14.2A, 4B, the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel are the following. We have the project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, foreman, and safety officer. Minimum years of similar experience, same position is 3 years. Minimum years of total work experience, same position is 3 years. For ITB clause 14.2A4, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For the description, we have plate compactor, required units 1, 1 bagger mixer, bar cutter, bar bender, welding machine, diesel gas driven and cutting outfit, required unit is 1, And for the laboratory equipment, please refer to DBO number 11, series of 2017 for the minimum materials testing equipment and Department Order number 127, series of 2018, strict application of Republic Act 9184, the conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts within the DPWH. That's also for the requirements of the bidding documents for these particular projects. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian L. Augusto, our Head Secretariat, for the second agenda. So let's continue for the third agenda. Documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. Again, our Head Secretariat.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. And for the documents to be submitted by the bidders, including technical and financial proposal, will be played through audio recording, sir. Thank you.
Secretariat, can you play the audio recording?
Technical and financial components. Number 1. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. For legal documents, letter A, valid PhilJibs registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages. Or letter B, registration certificate from Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority for cooperatives or its equivalent document. And letter C, mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. And letter D, tax clearance per EO number 398, series of 2005, as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. For technical documents, letter E, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And letter F, statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules. And letter G, Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB license, or special PCAB license in case of joint ventures. And registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. And letter F, original copy of bid security in the form of surety bond. Submit also the certification issued by Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. And letter I, project requirements, which shall include the following. First, organizational chart for the contract to be bid. Second, list of contractors' key personnel, for example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, safety officer, and foreman, to be assigned to the contract to be bid, with their complete qualification and experience data. Third, list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor, vendor, or the duration of the project as the case may be. And last, list of contractors' minimum material testing equipment which are owned as per Department Order Number 11, Series of 2017. For letter J, original duly signed omnibus sworn statement o OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary's certificate in case of corporation, partnership, or cooperatives, or original special power of attorney of all members of joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and to do acts to represent the bidder. For financial documents, letter K, the prospective bidder's audited financial statement showing, among others, the prospective bidder's total and current assets and liabilities is stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. And letter L, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, Class B documents. Letter M, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in accordance with the Republic Act number 4566 and its IRR in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. Number 2, financial component envelope. Letter N, original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and other documentary requirements under Republic Act number 9184. Letter O, original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. And letter P, duly accomplished detailed estimate form including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rental used in coming up with the bid. And letter Q, cash flow by quarter.
That's also for the agenda number 3, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Augusto, for the pre-recorded presentation for the third agenda. Let's continue with fourth agenda. Criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. Request our provisional member from all types of procurement, Architect IB Salazar.
Thank you, sir. For the fourth agenda, may we listen to the pre-recorded presentation?
Secretariat, kindly play the pre-recorded presentation of the fourth agenda.
Pre-bid conference. Detailed evaluation of bids. For the procurement of goods and infrastructure projects, the BAC shall evaluate the financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, or applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive. But specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. Arithmetical corrections. Consider computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. The BAC shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties, which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be basis for bid evaluation and comparison. In case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. Between total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. Between stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Between unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the BAC its latest income and business tax returns and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of this IRR. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain all statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to the following. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of this IRR. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the infrastructure projects offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, verification and validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, and the competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the project for the procurement of infrastructure projects. Verification of availability and commitment and/or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment unit to be owned, leased, under, purchased by the bidder for use in the contract. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures, or substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the contractor's fault or negligence, the agency shall disqualify the contractor from the award for the procurement of infrastructure projects.
That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretariat, for the pre-recorded presentation of the fourth agenda. So let's continue questions, comments from bidders, and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. Again, may I ask the Secretariat if we have any questions, clarifications from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders, being none. So let's continue for the summary of proceedings, including bid bulletins, addenda to be issued, none. So for the other matters, uh, before our secretary will read the announcement reminders, I would like first to read the supplemental bid bulletin 2024-2025, March 22, 2024, notice of postponement. Kindly Plaza Secretariat is the content. Notice is hereby given to all concerned that the dropping and opening of bids for contract ID number 24BI0075, concreting of Magsaysay Hills, San Antonio North, FMR, Barangay Magsaysay Hills, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya, originally scheduled on March 26, 2024, is hereby postponed and rescheduled for April 11, 2024, due to revisions made in the approved program of works and plans. Please be guided accordingly. Signed by yours truly, back chairperson, and noted by our district engineer, Maripel D. Andes. So this is the supplemental bid bulletin for we have a bidding for tomorrow for work. So again, may I know from our secretary, do you have any announcement reminders to make?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and we have a announcement reminders for the next procurement activities.
Okay, Engineer Augusto, can you read all the details of the next procurement activity?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the announcement, reminders, which is the opening of bids tomorrow, date and time, March 26, 2024 at 9:01 a.m. Venue DPWH Function Hall, Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya for 2 civil works projects, sir, and 2 goods and services.
Okay, Engineer Augusto, can you read all the details of this next procurement activity?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the civil works projects with contract ID number 24BI0073. Name of the project is concreting of Barangay Piña FMR. Location of the project is Barangay Piña, Jadi, Nueva Vizcaya, with an approved budget for the contract or ABC of 9,950,000 pesos and a project description of concreting of 6.10 meter width Barangay Road with a project duration of 120 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 10,000 and a source of fund of FY 2024 DA FMR. And for the second project, sir, with contract ID number 24BI0074, name of the project, concreting of Dulyao FMR. Location of the project is at Barangay Dulyao, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya, with an approved budget for the contract or ABC of 14,925,000 pesos and a project description of concreting of 6.10 meter width Barangay Road and a project duration of 150 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 25,000 and the source of fund of FY 2024 DAFMR. For the 2 goods and services, sir, for the first project with contract ID number 24GBI 33, name of the project, procurement of 1 set desktop computer, application use, etc. for use of DPWH and before DEO. Location of the project is DPWH Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya, with approved budget for the contract or ABC of 545,600 pesos and a project duration of 30 calendar days. For the second goods and services, sir, with contract ID number 24GBI 34, name of the project, procurement of 1 set desktop computer, application use, etc. for use of the procurement unit, ICT unit, office of the DE, and planning and design section, DPWH and before DEO. Location of the project is DPWH Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya, with an approved budget for the contract or ABC of 907,115 pesos and a project duration of 30 calendar days. That's also for the announcement reminders for tomorrow, March 26, 2024, for the opening of bids. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto, our Head Secretariat, for reading for the next procurement activity, which is the opening of 2 civil works and 2 goods and services. Again, this to remind fellow back members our jury duty for the next procurement activity. So that's all. So for today, the private conference of 1 consultancy services, 2 goods and services, and 3 civil works. For this, can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Since we're finished with the pre-bidding of 1 consulting services, 2 goods and services, and 3 civil works, and there's no more agenda, an announcement also has been made for the next procurement activity. I move to close these activities, sir.
Seconded, Mr. Chair.
Since it's been moved and seconded, as back chair, I know declare that this procurement activity is officially closed. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat and thank you for watching.